welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about One Piece Burning Blood, and joining me for today's video review of One Piece Burning Blood is the myth, the man, the legend in the One Piece Burning Blood community. How are you doing today, Blick?
What is good? I mean, what is really good, my people? It is your UK chocolate brother, Dr. Blick, the darkest man around, and I'm doing good, man. I'm good.
I'm glad to hear that, man. It's always a pleasure to have you here on the channel, man. So for today's video, like I said, guys, we're going to be reviewing the game. So it's been a while since I've dropped a video on it. So what I kind of wanted to do with this video was to kind of make it a little bit more of like a interview type of format, because Blick is a guy that was covering the game. One of the guys that I know that's been covering the game since its inception, and since it was basically a game that was just kind of hyped up and stuff of that nature. So for starters, one of the first things I wanted to kind of ask you, Blick, was what are your general thoughts on it as a game in particular?
When it comes to One Piece Burning Blood as a game, it's a good anime game, and it's also a game that really follows the series in terms of unique powers, unique abilities, and unique, every character you're gonna play with is gonna be different. So everyone has their own unique specialty, but that also kind of breaks the game as well, because it creates unbalancing and it creates the need for some characters to use supports. It really it's 50-50. If you like a game that's true to the series, if you like One Piece, you're gonna enjoy this game. But if you're not so into One Piece, you might not really get what's happening, especially with the low gears being able to phase out attacks, and then you got haki users. It might be all confusing. So if you're not really into One Piece, or you don't know a lot about One Piece, it's not really the game to get. Or if you're planning on watching One Piece and you haven't caught up to Marineford, the way the game is, you have to play the story mode to advance to play online. I know that's pretty stupid, but you have to play the story mode, so you could get spoiled on a major part in the One Piece story. But as a game, it's good. The damaging's broken. Online is the online connection is good. Endless needs to somewhat be tweaked in terms of the fact that Endless is not real time. You can still spectate, but you won't be able to spectate real time unless you click the ready up button at the same time. But as a whole, if they made spectating real time, if they added a little bit more features in terms of tournament mode, 6-man endless instead of 4, make the story mode more interesting. The story mode was pretty just you fight this guy, cutscene, cutscene, you fight this guy. The story mode was pretty meh. If they fix that, the damaging, and also make the time limit longer, because the way the timer is, even if you have say for example, I have 2 characters left, the person has 1, and the timer goes out, it will go to sudden death, when that doesn't really make any sense, because I have more characters left, that person has less characters, why are we going to sudden death? So there's a lot of things that they need to improve, but as a whole, it's a good game. I actually like playing One Piece Burning Blood. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, it does sound like it's a lot of fun. So to kind of elaborate a little bit here, the story does kind of basically skip a lot of, the initial story of the show. So to kind of talk about that here and reasons as to why you guys should check out the show in relation to the game, I'm going to go ahead and plug a really, really old video that Blick and I did a while ago, where we talk about whether or not you should check out One Piece. So Blick, just kind of elaborating on that a little bit, you talked about multiple issues with the game. So would you say that, there are several improvements that need to be made? And if so, what were maybe the top couple of things that need to be fixed in the next iteration of the game, if there is one?
Boy, there's a lot. When I mean a lot, the damage scale, the damage is horrible. With some characters, yeah, you can literally, if you do one full combo, especially if you're using Luffy and Conqueror's Haki, if you implement Conqueror's Haki, you can literally one-shot someone. That's how bad the damage can be. So they need to kind of scale the damage, or either make another health bar. But making another health bar is like putting a bandage on a wound that is clearly broken. So I would say scale the damage, give us another health bar, give us a stamina bar. So if you use the same move 3 times, your stamina drains quicker. And for people like Law, he wouldn't have to lose health, because losing health in One Piece Burning Blood, even though he's losing it slowly, it matters, especially with the damage being so big. So if they create a stamina bar, characters that actually do rely on stamina in the series will be able to actually function a lot better, rather than being able to lose their energy drain. For example, if 4th gear had the standalone 4th gear had that, it would just be losing his stamina. His stamina would just go down quicker when he does attacks. Stuff like that will help the game be balanced. And the fact that moves can be done anytime, it does kind of heavily promote spam. So in terms of that, they need to fix the damage scaling. They need to fix Endless, because Endless, Like, if you're spectating, you want to be there real time. There's no point being behind or being a couple of seconds like behind. Like, you gotta be right on the thick of things, because that's the fun part about being endless, seeing everything in real time. And in terms of the story mode, like I wasn't really a big fan of the part that they positioned the story mode. So if they were to make the story mode like base it on like a couple of arcs instead of one, and make it more like boss battles, quick time events, like freaking horde mode, like using Luffy to like fight through a bunch of people to get away. Stuff like that would be fun. Like if they mixed up like they did with the Naruto games, like there's loads of stuff that you can do. It's not just battle after battle after battle after battle. But if you watch One Piece, it's like there's loads of variety of stuff that they can do when it comes to the game. They can add a tournament mode. Tournament mode would be so dope, because I know people would like the whole Colosseum concept tournament mode. They can even do a little animation at the beginning. What else? Get rid of sudden death. Like, the person that has the most characters left with the most health wins. Like, just abandon that. Make the time limit a bit longer, because as you guys know, when it comes to anime games, time limit, like 3 minutes is not enough. You need to have a lot longer time. So, as a whole, when it comes down to stuff they need to improve on, those are the stuff that stand out to me. And fix the damage scaling, fix Luffy, fix Strongworld Ace. There's a lot of characters that need to be fixed enough, and their moves need to be tweaked because they do way too much damage. And yeah, that's my thoughts on the stuff that are mainly broken in One Piece Burning Blood.
Yeah, I remember that when I was playing the game and I was doing ranked battles and stuff like that on my channel, probably about a couple months ago. I remember that, you could hop in a match, man, and just one or two hits, it's taken away 3/4 of your bar, and it's just like, wow. Like, there was times in the story, for example, when, because they don't do a very good job, in my opinion, of teaching you how to play the game versus the difficulty of the game and the story mode. It's like, well, I had to run through some of those stages 5 or 6, 7 times just to pass it. That could be me sucking, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, the damage scaling is so high that if they hit you like once or twice with like their special moves, you're basically dead. So it was really difficult in that sense for me, because once again, everything just does so much damage, and it seemed like, especially in the story, what you didn't do as much as what they did to you too. So I don't know if that was their way to make the game more difficult as well. Maybe that was something like that. Do you know about that?
With my experience at Burning Blood, especially my experience on ranked, in order to be a really good player at One Piece Burning Blood, you need to know at least one OP combo. So the way they did it, like, I feel like they were trying to make it harder, so saying like, okay, this is gonna be hard, but they didn't really have a difficulty set, so you don't know what difficulty you're playing on. So the way they did it in terms of making it difficult, it wasn't the fact that they were doing too much damage. It was the fact that they already had a lot of damage to dish out. Plus, you're adding more damage onto them, and plus they're taking little damage from you. So for the most part, it was an annoying task to go through. Like, most people that play One Piece Burning Blood, the story mode, they can say the cutscene is beautiful, the game looks good, but the overall story mode as an enjoyment factor, it was boring. Like yeah. it was a pain. You just wanted to complete it, go and do like wanted verses and other stuff. Like, in terms of enjoyment factor of playing the story mode, I would say, I will put it out there and say this is probably one of my least my least favorite story modes out of any anime game. Like, bar like games like Ultimate Tenkaichi and Battle of Z. Like, this is my least favorite in terms of enjoyment.
Well, they had a lot of stuff to play with, and they kind of just stuck to one portion of the massive story of One Piece. And then what they did too to pad it out was they made you play it from Ace's perspective and Whitebeard's perspective, right? I'm pretty sure that's what they did.
And
along with Luffy.
Scenes.
Yeah, and all those cutscenes and stuff. So they really tried to pad it out. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they could have done. So hopefully in the next game they do expand on that a little bit. But my final question for you here, Blick, is, now that we've talked about it, we've gave our general thoughts on the game, is this a game that you would recommend to a casual fan of the series, or even just somebody that's looking to get into more anime-related games as opposed to like, more of like shooters and stuff like that? They're trying to try out this new genre. Would you recommend this game to somebody?
Yeah, I'll definitely recommend it, because like, funny as you said, I've recommended like Dabazaki, if you know him. Like, he does a lot of Dokkan on his channel. I recommended him, and that helped him get more into One Piece. So if you're looking to get more into One Piece and see the diversity of the characters of One Piece, I recommend it. But what I do say, like, I would say to stick to more offline. And the reason why I'm saying this is, if you do not have someone that can explain you, that can give you the quick rundown on the concept, it's going to be difficult to grasp it on your own. So if you want to get into One Piece, this game is good because it introduces you to the diversity and it introduces you to cool character designs that they're like Sabo, Ace, characters like that have cool designs and cool abilities. In terms of like getting into anime games, it gives you a lot of diverse characters and characters that you know that will fight differently when you use them. Like when it comes to anime games, especially like the only game I can really say that I really do this was like Budokai 3. I use the full extent of the character roster because I know that they're different. I know that all the characters are going to play different. I know that everyone's going to work different. Like when it goes to Storm 4, I know I'm using the same full characters, the same like couple characters, but with this game, you know you're going to get a different enjoyment with different characters. And yeah, that's my standpoint on when it comes to like the characters and whether you should get the game. But as a whole, I recommend this game to people that want to get into One Piece, and I recommend it for people that are trying to get into anime games because it's really fun.
Definitely, and I follow those sentiments. It's definitely a game that you'd probably want to check out. You may want to wait for the drop in price a little bit if it hasn't already, but it's definitely worth a buy to try out the game because it was a lot of fun to play it. But I want to thank Blick here for joining me on the channel. Blick does not just do One Piece content. He does a lot of other content. He does a lot of game-related stuff, and he tries to explain One Piece and different things about the lore of One Piece from time to time. So Blick is just a multifaceted guy, so I want you guys to all check him out and subscribe to his channel, of course. Do you have any other closing sentiments here, man?
What I can say is that if you're planning on getting One Piece now, I would say if you're going online, you're just gonna be matched up against good players at this point. Because the problem with the game, why it's not lasting as long, is the content itself. It doesn't have really much to go off. If they do, like, say if they get Burning Blood 2, if they do what they do with Xenoverse and give like, I swear Xenoverse is gonna give you like free DLC so that the game can last longer. If they do something like that and add like different features and concepts to the game will last a lot longer. But just adding characters to this game is not enough to save this game in terms of longevity. For me, in my opinion, like if you're looking to get it now, the game's kind of somewhat dead. Like characters like Rob Lucci is gonna keep it alive for a little bit, but it's still gonna fizzle out. Like, if you know what I mean. But that's all I gotta say.
No, I agree with you, but I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Blick's channel, leave a like on it as well, and I want to know your thoughts on the game. Would you recommend the game to anybody else that's interested in picking up the game? And then on another note, like I said, I'm going to plug down below in the description the video Blick and I did a while back. It's really old, but we talk about One Piece's anime and whether or not you should get into it. It's definitely one of our respective favorites. So I want you guys to know whether or not that's an anime that you're interested in as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe, of course, and leave a like on the video. But we'll catch you next time. Peace out.